The Lawrence County Historical Society and Museum, part of America's 250, Lighting the Way. Known as the Gray House, the museum is located at 506 South 6th Street in Ironton. It is a Victorian Italian villa architecture with 3.5-story brick building, including a tower. The Gray House was originally built by James Ferguson around 1870. He and his wife Elizabeth had purchased many lots in Ironton on 6th Street between Adams and Jefferson. The properties they purchased are in orange on this map. Elizabeth purchased the property which would become the museum on the 25th of October 1870 for $500. The purchase included lots 732, 733, 735, and 737. On the 5th of July, 1878, Elizabeth Ferguson sold lots 732, 733, and 734 to Eliza Ann Gray. This sale included the house which would be known as the museum. The property sold for $6,500, which was a profit of $6,000 for the Fergusons. The new owner, Eliza Ann Gray, was actually Elizabeth Ann Humphreys Gray. Born in Ripley, she was a relative of Reverend John Rankin and the wife of Colonel George Noah Gray. Pictured here is Colonel George Noah Gray, the husband of Elizabeth Ann Humphreys Gray. George was born in Pennsylvania on February 10, 1838. His first jobs when he came to Lawrence County was as a teacher in the furnace schools. When the Civil War broke out, he joined the Union force and would reach the rank of colonel. After the war, he would return to Lawrence County and his family and become a prominent businessman and furnace master. Pictured here is Reverend John Rankin, grandfather of Elizabeth Humphrey Gray. He was born in the South and moved to Brown County, Ohio, because of his dislike of slavery and his activities in the abolitionist movement. In 1824, he was horrified to learn that his brother had purchased slaves. He proceeded to write a series of letters to his brother that later would be published under the title Letters on Slavery. They would become the earliest and most effective calls for immediate emancipation. They would eventually be bound in a book and be one of the first books ever issued by the American Anti-Slavery Society in 1833. Rankin was the principal founder of the anti-slavery denomination in the Presbyterian faith. He would become one of the U.S.'s most well-known Underground Railroad conductors. A dinner at his house and the stories that were told there would become the source of a real-life story that would inspire Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. Uncle Tom's Cabin would also become a call for the emancipation of the slaves in the South. Reverend Rankin's activities in the abolitionist movement and the Underground Railroad would not just inspire people in his home county of Brown, but also all across the United States. Locally, he inspired John Campbell and Hiram Campbell, as well as other Lawrence Countyans in the abolitionist movement. Sadly, as he became older, Reverend Rankin was struck with cancer. He moved to Ironton to live with his granddaughter, Mrs. Elizabeth Gray. He would die in their home, and a funeral was held at the Presbyterian Church in Ironton. His remains were taken to Ripley, Ohio, where he was finally laid to rest. The black citizens in Lawrence County, and Ironton specifically, met at the Opera House on the 4th of April, 1886, in a show of support and in his memory of all that Reverend Rankin had done. As for the Gray home, it would go through many changes before it became the Lawrence County Museum. Today, it houses numerous artifacts and pieces of Lawrence County's history.